What's up and welcome back? I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're back with Alien Earth, Season 1, Episode 6. So we survived the last episode, which was not good. It was not a good episode. I've been mostly on board for the Alien Earth series, but we wrote a whole bunch of idiots in space in the last episode, and I just was not a fan. So we're back, and we're back in the main cast. And I like this cast, and I like where they're going with it. They're playing around with some ideas, and I'm intrigued to see where this goes. And this is a recap, so spoilers. We lose a lost boy. Although I don't know if we ever permanently lose anybody in this show. That's basically like an android synthetic robot cyborg thing. I feel like maybe we could always, their conscience is always somewhere, they could be downloaded somewhere else. I don't know, but for now, rest in peace, Isaac, who was Toodles. So Toodles is dead. And we also get slightly ends up getting the face hugger thing gets to happen for him in sort of a weird segment. This was interesting. It was an interesting episode. So Wendy is communicating now with the chest burster that throughout the course of the episode is going to grow and can actually seemingly pretty rapidly into the full-blown alien that we love and know. But they also have these containment cells with all these other aliens in it, including a winged one, which comes in and basically kills Isaac. But there's also the eye one, which is in the body of the sheep, which also seems to be smart enough to know how to distract Isaac to get him killed anyway. It's interesting how everything plays out. So a couple of them are not really featured in this episode. It's basically just Wendy slightly and Isaac with just a little bit of nibs. So they talk about nibs in the beginning, and what they need to do is they wiped her. So she didn't remember the last couple of days. She never remembers going to the ship. She doesn't remember ever being quote unquote pregnant, and none of that stuff. It's all just been deleted. So she's happy and fine again. And this doesn't work out when Wendy has a conversation with her. And Wendy's like, we did this thing, don't you remember? And Nibs is like, no, I don't. I don't have those memories. And Wendy realizes what happened, and she goes and confronts her, the doctors. I don't know, the husband and wife couple. Basically, the wife stays and the husband gets fired. So because he refuses to do it, but the wife will do it. So obviously, divorce lays in their future. But not that we're ever going to need to get to that point. But so yeah, she admits to it, and she's like, well, my goal is to just help you guys, no matter what. And Wendy is obviously upset with the idea that, you can just go in there and erase people's brains. And it's like, well, they turned down your hearing so that you could process, because you were having sort of a little bit of a freak out moment. So this should not come as a surprise to you. Meanwhile, Boy Genius is in negotiations with Weyland-Yutani over the gear, and as part of the 5, they have these official negotiations, and he negotiates up until a certain point and gets what he wants, which is $20 billion, and agrees to transport things after the 6-week mandatory period has passed. So he doesn't bring that up until the very end, until they've agreed on it, and then the mediator agrees, because that is something that they have for any off-world things, is that they have like an isolation period. So, uh, being, of course, a very astute, uh, caring person, he remembers that he's supposed to quarantine these things for 6 weeks before handing them over, just to make sure. How nice of him. So he's got them for 6 weeks, and then he's got $20 million coming his way. Although she is still getting Morrow to go after, and Morrow has a plan, and Morrow's still working slightly to get the chest burster inside of the guy, um, and get him out of there. So, as I predicted in the last episode, Slightly's trying to get Joe / Kermit, but that's not happening because he ends up going on patrol with the other humans, that were part of his squad, and because they've heard about a potential attack coming from Weyland-Yutani, so they have to patrol now. So he's stuck with less options, but Morrow is still threatening to kill his family. So Kermit had gone to I forget his name, the male doctor, who is packing his stuff and leaving because he's been fired, and asks him if Wendy's safe. And the doctor finds a way of telling him no, to where he's not being watched. So he types it into a computer, but he acts like he's typing something else into the computer. And he types in, get her out of here. The boat code is this, those kind of things. So, so Joe finds out that, no, Wendy's not safe here. But I think she's probably more safe than anybody else, because I think she's the favorite. So it's the others that are less safe. And she's the one who's figured out how to communicate with the aliens. So it's, 6 that doesn't have on the other. I mean, Joe talks to his soldier friends, who I don't know what their names are. Let's face it, they're expendable. But I think the female one, the one that has like braids, red braids, something like that in the audio description, mentions the reason why, because they could be anywhere. And she's like, well, I'd rather be here because at least I know where they are. Out there, I don't know where those aliens are, but here I can keep an eye on them. So there's some sense in that, because out there, if the aliens get out, you have no idea. You would have no idea. They could just show up one day and bam, So, solid reasoning. But, yeah. So that's basically their storyline. Smee's barely in the episode. The other one is barely in the episode. The other, I forget her name, because I don't even think she was in the episode. The one that's been trying to get Boy Genius's attention. I don't think she did anything at all. So it's basically, at this point, it's just Slightly has to try to achieve. And what he gets is, he benefits from Isaac going in, because Kirsch has asked Isaac to sort of care for the aliens while he's gone and make sure that they get fed. So Isaac tries to feed the flying one, but that doesn't go over well because he accidentally gets himself locked in the cage. And we find out that these alien things will attack synthetics, even though they've seemed hesitant to, like they don't know what to do because there isn't like a body. I was thinking that Slightly was going to try to use Joe, and then it wasn't going to work out because Joe doesn't have, because he had a lung transplant, and we don't know that he has a real lung in there. He could have a synthetic lung, which could mess with a chest burster's ability to grow or mutate and ever come out. So I was thinking that would be the interesting twist, is what happens when a person who's mostly organic but has this one part that is the necessity of what the chest burster needs is not real. Like, what happens to the chest burster then? Is it trapped? Does it not thrive? Does it die? So I thought that would have been a way more interesting storyline than what he does, which is he gets the male doctor to go in and go after Isaac, but then he also unlocks the area with the cages so that way the chest burster comes out. Well, the uh, facehugger comes out to plant the chest burster in the doctor, who's even tries to use the phone and call for help, but then not in time. So unfortunately, the doctor is the one with the facehugger on him now, and slightly gets in and puts him in a like a in the floor under like a grate, and then he climbs in after him, and they just barely make it before the flying alien gets there and moves in to attack, but the alien just hits the grate. So that alien's just loose in the room for whoever goes in there again. The interesting thing is, though, that Kirsch has been watching all this through the footage, and we see he saw everything happen, and he's with Boy Genius, and Boy Genius is like, so, how's everything going? And Kirsch is like, fine. It's all good. Everything's going great. So, what game is he playing? Because he just watched Isaac die, and he just watched the facehugger get planted, and he sees it slightly is working for something else, obviously, now. So, very interesting. I'm intrigued. I don't know why people don't like the show. And although last episode was poorly written, and I already went into that, but we're building more on the lore and mythology of what we've already seen, and I like it. So there you go. Alien Earth, floating between like an 8.5 and a 9 right now, somewhere for me, and my final score. I don't have a reason to take it lower than that, so that's where we're floating right now on score wise. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'll be back next week with another Alien Earth recap for you. Until then, see you guys on the other side.